other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Wake forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light wind. Afternoon high around 40. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, be breezy, low around 30. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, a light breeze, and afternoon high near 68. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
Demorne Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
Welcome in to the Don't Punt Hour. We got Demorne Pierson-El, as always, joining us here on I was going to say beautiful. It's not beautiful. It kind of sucks outside. It's freezing. Stay warm. I'm wearing a stocking cap. A, because my hair still needs a haircut, and B, it is actually really cold out there. Not pleasant to be outside, but we got Demorne Pierson-El. He's inside, so I'm sure he's not too cold. How's it going on a Monday night here?
You know, I hate the cold. I'm happy to be inside.
Yeah, man, it really hit me. I was watching NFL, obviously, and I got home in time to see some of my Bears, and the flurries are happening. It's that time of year where the cold's going to sneak in here. The polar vortex is making its way downtown, down to the Gulf Coast. So enjoy it. It's going to be cold. I think we might actually get some nice weather in Lincoln for like another week, if I'm right. And then I think we're kind of back into the cold. Nebraska football, though, they didn't have to deal with cold at all this weekend. They even got a win. And they beat UCLA on the road. Plenty of things to talk about. We will get to our pick reviews as well. Yeah, I took an L. Yeah.
Usually you want to do that first. Now you want to wait. I see how it is.
I'll be honest, I had to hop on a show earlier, so I didn't have time to put the list together. But I know, just based off memory, I lost. It was not a good week.
I think it was close because I think we split. I think Vandy. It was one of the games. I think I can't remember. I think it's actually a lot more closer than what you think.
Well, I took BYU. They got absolutely blown out of the water. Yeah, and that was one where I was getting too generous. I want to stop taking the same pick. So I was like, I'll let you have this one. And it's, I let you have it, to say the very least.
Oh, you were feeling BYU. They were playing at home, freshman quarterback in that new environment. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I just threw in a curveball there. I was like, well, they beat Arizona State and Texas Tech lost to them. So
I think Sam Levy wasn't even playing. So I don't want to hear
it. Yeah, no, they didn't look good at all. But to your point, we will get to those, and I'm almost confident that you won. But since there is so much to talk on Huskerland, Husker football, what are your thoughts, Demorne Pierson-El? There's a lot of headlines in that game, so I'll let you pick the first headline we talk about.
I got a lot of questions. First, absolutely love the game. A little bit nervous when we didn't score in the second half. Not really tripping about it. I'm tripping about it a little bit. Just a little bit. if it looks like that, if it look like that was a simple game plan. How does it go from look? And I understand they might have not known what they were going to do, or they were trying to figure out some stuff. That's just pitch and catch football. See man open, throw the ball. They made tough grabs and everything like that. That's playing within the system. Why doesn't it look that efficient with Raiola? Because and maybe he didn't get a chance to really get into the red zone and kind of operate like that, because they were scoring from 50 and 60 yards out. So I understand that, but still, just with simple football stuff, and I understand sometimes they operate like that, but why does it necessarily look like that for one and not more consistent for the other?
Well, I think there's maybe a few things in there, right? They didn't have tape on TJ Lateef yet, and we'll see if there's only 3 games. I don't know if teams really catch up too much, but there was an element of what are we going to see out of TJ Lateef for UCLA, where they maybe because you had an entire year worth of film for Dylan Raiola.
He wasn't
running game.
He wasn't running though. We understood what they were trying to do on the defensive side. They put a game plan in to attack certain things, right or wrong. So
100%.
He wasn't doing anything. I feel like, on some superhero level, he was playing really simple, complimentary football. He was throwing to the open man. He was getting guys the ball, and they were doing their things. The things that I've been asking for the whole season, Emmett having over 25 touches, over 27 touches a game, finally happened. And I understand you might want to make sure he lasts the whole season, and that could be it, just because you trust him the most out of every running back. Understand that, not mad at that. But for him to average 18 touches, you can at least get 23 to 25. So Emmett had, a career day. You actually used him in multiple ways of throwing the ball and everything like that. Been asking for that. You moved the pocket. You got Lateef outside of the pocket, have him, throwing on a run and everything like that. You got mesh routes in front of him. They were killing on that. That was something, Ben asked, wasn't seeing as much. So that's what makes me question, well, if it's I can understand if he had a career day with running the ball. He really didn't. He sat back in the pocket and he had, a few reads. He was going through his reads and he got the ball out early. He was very accurate with the ball and got the ball to his playmakers and let the offense work. Why isn't that more consistent on, what Raiola was doing?
Okay, well, I think we can break this down. I think there's a few things to it. The first down gains were incredible all night.
For sure.
And part of it is, the game plan, right? Simplify it, keep it simple, dummy, or whatever the quote is. And when you are gashing teams for 7 yards on first down, the second down play call, they're on their heels. And even though TJ Lateef did not take off and run, I think he ran like 5 times, he still had that threat there to where you couldn't just ignore it, even if he wasn't imposing his will with it, the same way Nico Iamaleava was. And I mean, a masterful performance from Emmett Johnson.
For sure.
Also just a good day from the offensive line in general. I thought, they gave up 0 sacks. Part of that, again, back to that quick game, TJ Lateef was getting the ball out of his hands quickly. If not, he was tucking and running it the few times he did. But I think a lot of the success for Holgorsen this was probably the most open playbook he's had, mainly because that first down gain was so good. I mean, how many third downs? They had
7, maybe
eight third downs in the game. Compared to UCLA's 8 for 14. But even on the third downs that they converted, they were always at least third and short, to where you could still get into your bag a little bit with the play call. And then there was a lot of second in short, to where, again, UCLA is on their heels, to where if you call a simple play call, because there's so much they got to consider at those yard markers, the offense opens up and it does become a lot easier. So I think it was just kind of a culmination of things that led to a really easy day calling plays for Holgorsen. And then you saw that with the wheel route. That was Nebraska driving down the field, first down, they get 7, then they get 4, and then they get 13, and then they get another 15. And you're sitting there, you're UCLA, it's 1st and 10. they're gashing you every time they run the ball. And what do you see that linebacker do?
Come up every time.
Yep, wheel route, wide open. Emmett Johnson, beautiful toss, beautiful play. But I think that was a lot of it. Was Holgerston was just able to get in his bag and call whatever he wanted because that way for a.
So you telling me the Maryland game you wasn't necessarily getting what you wanted?
Well, you were, but not to the same degree in this game. I mean, this game the offense.
I understand, the first downs and you getting 6 yards of carry, 7 yards of carry. I understand, I get that and everything like that. But there's been times like that of how efficient and how the offense was moving. There's been times that Dylan was doing that throughout the year, but it wasn't necessarily maintained. And that's what I said. My question, sometimes you got a plan, it doesn't work. Get that. Perfectly fine, understand and everything like that. But like I say, it may be just the play calling was a little bit more available. I feel like that is true and whatnot. But there still were some things I don't think that were called in certain situations. He wasn't necessarily going down the field. I mean, he was, Dylan, I won't say is, a down the field type of target guy. We don't really, we don't really take a whole bunch of shots. It's not shot heavy this year and everything like that. But to me, it just seemed like the quick game was hitting, the intermediate game was hitting, the screen game was hitting, and it's been times where the Maryland game late, Emmett. Why wasn't that? Why we weren't necessarily using him early in the game in certain instances, and maybe it takes a while or whatnot. So that was the only part that left me, really, head scratching. This is a team that beat Penn State.
Yep.
So you can't say we were having a nice day, and I understand that or whatnot, but for us to be in the right, it seemed like majority of the time we're in the right plays making the right plays at the right time. And like I said, the second half, I understand we didn't score, but we've seen that, from the starting offense at the beginning. You know what I mean?
We got 7.
Okay, 7.
I just with your quick clarification. Sorry, I just want to clear that up.
So, like I said, I'm not nitpicking or anything like that. It looked really, really smooth. Simple stuff looked open. Been calling for Emmett to get the ball in more of a receiving way. And everything like that, and things were definitely rolling. I think, moving forward and everything like that, you kind of have to have that approach with these next couple games and everything like that. I know it's small sample size, but I don't know necessarily what the numbers are for what similar calls was the first, 5 or 7 to 8 games to what it is now, to where they can kind of study the stats and kind of go from there. But people are going to make adjustments and, might take things away and everything like that. I'm interested to see what adjustments Dana and the offense makes to continue, being as successful or close to that successful.
Yeah. And you wonder too if it's a little bit of like Nebraska just kind of finally figured out what it's capable and what it's incapable of doing. Because with Dylan Raiola, you like a quarterback who can sit there and go through his reads because he's got a great football mind. That's, I feel like, the biggest credit that he maybe gets. You can shout out some other things, but his football IQ. And you head into the season thinking we got a quarterback who's going to be able to pick defenses apart if we can give him the time. Time was not being given.
For sure.
It was not in his favor to have long developing plays because protection, I think, was a lot worse than anybody anticipated.
Agreed.
And then we kind of got to this point in the season where we are now, where I feel like we have a better understanding of what this line is good at and what they're not good at. And one thing they're actually pretty good at is run blocking. Pass pro, we didn't throw it a lot, but we did avoid 0 sacks. But a lot of it was we weren't having a lot of long developing plays. TJ Lateef was doing a good job of getting his out of his hands quickly. And if they did bring pressure, throw it straight towards the blitz. So, maybe it's a little bit of Nebraska's got a better idea of what they can do. Even if, no matter who's out there at quarterback, if they need a lot of time, if we got a long developing play.
So it took you 8. What game are we on? We on 9, 10 games?
Yeah,
it took you that long, and for your starting quarterback to get hurt to change to that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, you put a perfect game plan together, everything was rolling and whatnot, but you knew a few games ago that maybe we can't necessarily have the long developing stuff and everything like that, and yet you really didn't get things reinvented or taken off, with your original first set out there.
Let's start versus Northwestern though, where we kind of really not drastically changed our offense, but it became a lot more quick game. Because I mean, we had the 3 weeks in a row where we gave up like 20 plus sacks, and that was kind of the end of that era for me. Where all of a sudden Nebraska became more of a quick game type team. Northwestern, they did it. Maryland, they kind of did it, and this was the game where it looked the most kind of West Coast that it has looked, with a little bit of Big Ten mixed in, the way you were handing the rock to Emma Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of dink and dunk, and it worked out well because we're still getting some of those runs for big gains. But I'm also with you. I'm trying to figure out why this looks so much better. I mean, you could make an argument the only game we saw from quarter 1 to quarter 4 was a complete game. Offense was consistent. And
with the Big Ten opponent, yes. I'm not counting I think the Cincinnati was a complete game. I feel like that was fair outside of, getting in the red zone and not scoring. But that's been something that's been consistent for us the whole year. That's not, a one-time or two-time off type situation. Like I said, I wanted to see more of Dillon getting outside of the pocket, and kind of moving the pocket, and you can have maybe some of those, deeper routes kind of come open, you deep overs come, or, like a spear route from pylon type route and everything like that versus certain coverage, or a V route backside one-on-one. He's got the arm talent to do it. A flood, you got him rolling into a flood concept, or a snake concept with the post and a out and up on the outside. Those are definitely options. So that was the only thing that like I said, it took that long for you to kind of get a grasp on exactly how you wanted to kind of call stuff.
I don't know what you think clicked. Like, to you, what I mean, what is the difference if you had to take a stab at it? Because it to your point, it looked drastically different. It's so much better than what we had.
The certain amount of play calls were different. At times when Dillon wanted to take a shot and everything like that, they were stuff beyond 12 yards.
Yes.
The shots that you necessarily kind of got that turn, I mean, when you look at it, I think he might have thrown maybe, I would say, under 6-7 passes that probably went past 10 yards. Honestly, the wheel route, that late rollout that secured the first down, and there were a couple other ones, slants that might have got right at 10 and everything like that. But still, the shot, your actual shot plays, we didn't necessarily get a chance to hit that, and that kind of got the offense out of rhythm. Okay, well, if you know that and everything like that, I think they were definitely exploiting better mismatches from the running back room and the wide receiver room. I liked how they were moving Dane Key around and everything like that. I'm not saying that we weren't doing that, earlier, because I have seen him, operate in the slot and whatnot and everything like that. They were on mesh routes. You got, Barney running a little bit more and everything like that. So I think the type of plays that they were looking to hit with Dillon were around that 10 to 15 range, and that might have been a little bit too much versus operating in that under 10 quick game type stuff. And this was a little bit spread them wide open, and definitely the run game was hitting enough to where your linebackers were coming up for it and drawing it and creating those lanes and everything like that. So even with that, like I said, which is why I felt like we should have been getting Emmett a lot more touches, which he opens up the game for everything. I think if you kind of,
you have to be at this point in time. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's starting to crack into the Heisman conversation. Whether you think it's a long shot or not, just the fact that he's starting to be mentioned in that breath, he should be the guy.
I mean, it's hard to not say, what other running backs in college football can you really put in that same conversation? Honestly, like, he's doing very similar things of what Quinshon Junkins and Travion were doing at Ohio State last year, and they were spending time with that. And he can do what Junkins can do, at the next level. And both those guys were day 2 guys. You know what I'm saying? So outside of maybe the Michigan guy, I think is a Hayes. He hasn't really been playing that much because he was hurt. So okay, outside of that, what other running back, honestly, really in college football that has had somewhat of a special year. You could say the guy out of Notre Dame and everything like that. People haven't really been talking about him as much as they were last year. So when you looking at names, what other names can you really throw out there that you can say, oh, he's having a better year than him? I think Emmett is a top 3 back, and that's just being generous. Definitely top 2. I'm biased. I have a biased opinion, so of course I'm gonna say he is that. But when you look at the stats and the numbers and everything like that, I'm really trying to figure out, okay, what other back is having a really, really good year to compare to him.
Well, to your point, I don't know if there is one. And if you don't want to get to the Heisman, he's certainly one of the favorites for the Doak Award, right?
Oh, easily. 1 or 2.
Phenomenal.
Well, 1 or 2 did, and you can say however these last two games go and everything like that, or still what he was able to do and everything, it goes to the best running back. And I don't see too many other people might have more recognition, and the guy on Notre Dame, you're on Notre Dame, y'all might be in the playoffs, yada yada yada. But when you turn on the film and look what guys are doing and everything like that, when he gets the ball and when he gets things going or whatnot, there isn't another back that I think that is doing what he's doing.
No, and even guys like Haynes you can throw out there. And
his run style is different. His run style is very, very close to Blake Corum.
Well,
very
also,
close.
Emmett Johnson's numbers still look better. And you put Emmett Johnson behind that line over there at Michigan. That's some work.
If Emmett is not first team All Big Ten, I'm done with the Big Ten.
I wouldn't blame you. Well, let's talk about his stats since it is that type of year for Mr. Minnesota, Emmett Johnson. 203 carries for 1,131 yards. He's averaging 5.6 per carry. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year. He also has the thing that really separates him: 36 receptions for 300 yards on the year, 3 receiving touchdowns as well. So 14.
And he can catch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think have I seen a drop ball from Emmett Johnson this year?
I think there's been I don't want to say I feel like there's 1 or 2.
Either way, he's got sure hands. I'll even if you have 1 or 2, he's been a great target. And that's the thing that's going to separate him is that quote that people keep saying, the quote unquote Christian McCaffrey of college football. Well, it's because he can do that. He can pass pro. He's a great receiver, and he can run the rock, all at really high clips and all really efficiently. So yeah, I mean,
to be honest, and it's not to knock on Christian, but McCaffrey was so special. That's not an easy. I know that the comparison of what they're trying to do and everything like that, but he reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara at Tennessee. I think that's a much better comparison. And I'm not trying to downplay it or anything like that. But McCaffrey is just in an atmosphere of his own.
That's fair enough.
So I don't and I'm not trying to take away from it, but if you look at what Alvin Kamara, his balance contact, his feet work after contact and everything like that, catching the ball, and those two guys are very, very similar, very, very similar stat wise and everything like that. I think his game is just a little bit more closer to Alvin, and that's not a knock or anything like that. Alvin still went 3rd round All Pro, has signed 2-3 contracts and everything like that. I think just playing style wise.
No, I mean, that's fair. I think when people use the Christian McCaffrey, it's not to say, hey, look out, this is the next greatest college football or NFL running back coming down the pipeline. It's, to your point, just trying to point out his versatility.
For sure.
But I do like the Kamara comparison because you do kind of get that athletic, herky it's like a smooth herky jerky though. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, it's aggressive, rapid, but it's so smooth every single time. And he even has ankles.
When you look at it, he's patient in the hole. And I think he's a little bit more elusive, in between the tackles and everything like that. But when they go downhill and everything like that, it's very similar. You can catch it out the backfield, make people miss, bounce off of tackles, and keep going. Like, not McCaffrey. Alvin isn't necessarily, I would say, one to necessarily juke. And I think Emmett does that more. But as far as falling forward, as far as balance contact and everything like that, and just, what you can do in the game and everything like that, that's what I said. I think his game is more of Alvin Kamara at Tennessee type stylish.
Especially that balance factor. That's the one that you can just totally see with that comparison. Emmett Johnson, anytime he's running on the sideline, he's got just incredible balance. Like knowing how to avoid those leg tackles and then just always keeping his feet. He showed that on that wheel route play that he had. But that being said, though, we do got to throw it to break. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. We'll keep talking Husker sports here, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at the 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Day. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Hour. Harrison runs the ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El joining in. You guys are always welcome to join in as well. 402-464-5685, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. All great ways to put a face to the voice. And DeMornay Pierson-El, I'm still putting together the list, but I can guarantee you did win. I'm missing one game. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. But
what games do you have?
The games that we picked: Oregon versus Iowa. You picked the Ducks. I picked Iowa. Iowa loses that one in an absolute thriller, to be fair, but the Ducks held true. I think it was 15-20, or no, excuse me,
18, 19, or 18, 16, something like that.
And just crazy behavior. Were you nervous at all in that one with Iowa?
A little bit, but I still had confidence with Oregon to pull off late.
Can I make one complaint for Oregon? What are you doing in the red zone at the goal line on 4th and 2, not loading up the box on a crucial down for Iowa? I couldn't believe Oregon really thought Iowa was going to throw the ball. Like they're not going to do that.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, they're going to need to remember that one for years to come, because you were outnumbered in the box and you thought Iowa was really going to put it in the air. No shot. They're going to run the ball. That's what they did. QB design run. Gronowski runs it in. But I think what Oregon had, about a minute and something left, and they make it obviously down the field, and they get the win. So good win for Oregon. Tough loss for Iowa. Texas Tech, BYU, not a good game at all. That was bad. BYU loses 7-29.
Blown out.
Yeah, blown out. So you got a 2-0 edge on me. We both pick Vanderbilt to win over Auburn. Close, though, 45-38 in overtime. And then we both took Florida State, and they lose. Clemson gets that one. So nonetheless, we're sitting here. You got 3 wins, 1 loss. I got 3 losses, 1 win. On the break here, I'll check for that last game. I'm just going to have to pull it up on YouTube. For some reason, I just forgot to write it down in my notes here. But I know we
usually send me a picture. I don't think I got a picture either.
No, I didn't. It's on a notepad, and then I haven't gone back. I got to figure out which game I'm missing, because we have 4 games on the Husker game, and the tiebreaker doesn't matter. We were both pretty close on the score, but you won nonetheless.
Was it Tennessee and somebody, or Georgia and somebody, or Ole Miss and somebody?
It could have been Texas A&M and Missouri. Is what I'm trying to remember.
I think so.
And I took Missouri, and they lost. It's coming back to me. It might have been this game, because I was big on Missouri.
I think it was the A&M game. I don't know if you sure you took A&M? I could have sworn we both took A&M.
No, I took Missouri. I know I did.
Maybe. I could have sworn I thought you took A&M.
Well, I'll check the results. When we go to our last break here, we'll go back in time and see if I've not.
You're still lost. Anyway, it don't matter. You still lost.
Hope my overall.
Close the gap. That's what I needed. I needed a strong week to close the gap. That's what I'm talking about.
Gap has been closed after this week. I can promise you that. And if I did pick Missouri over Texas A&M, then I think you do surpass me on overall picks of the year. And we're tied up 3-3 on just the week versus week picks. And then overall record, I think you'd surpass me by 1 as well. So I'm going to have to lock in on some ball knowledge here, because Vegas is starting to take my money. Not that I'm actually wanting to enter the bets off. I don't ever encourage it. Even that NCAA is making it legal for college players to gamble on pro sporting events. I don't agree.
It's still going to happen regardless, one way or another.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it on the slate. Which games really caught you off guard? Let's dive into some of these college football games that we talked about. Iowa and Oregon a little bit.
Penn State and Indiana. That one was. I thought BYU, Texas Tech was going to be a little bit closer, but they just came out and straight out BTA. So that was bad. I don't really feel like there were like too many good games. I thought the Florida State Clemson game was going to be closer. Norvell probably has to count his days. He might be out of there. I know he has a huge buyout. Florida State might get him up out of there, and that might be an appealing job to somebody.
Yeah, I mean that was I don't know what the timeline is. I think it's just the buyout keeping him. If the buyout wasn't so big, I think he'd be gone already.
Yeah. Louisville lost. I think they lost to Cal, if I'm not mistaken. That was a real good game. Virginia lost, which is crazy. I mean,
Good morning, Pierson-El. How about this one? Wisconsin gets a win.
That's what I should have texted you about, because you are a huge Washington fan, and
Oh,
I don't know what happened.
oh, I'm glad we didn't pick this game because that would have been a guaranteed another loss for me.
Oh, I was going
It would have been
to.
a loss
I'd
for you
have picked
too.
Washington anyway. We both would have lost that one.
But Wisconsin gets it done with 13 points. It was not a pretty game.
That's a Big Ten. That's a Big Ten game.
It was.
I think it is in big season. Side note, I was 100% correct on the score anyway, 21-28. Just wanted to say that in our game. The Big Ten scores are starting to come out.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be too many shootouts, huge shootouts or anything like that, unless they're on the West Coast kind of type of game, Washington versus Oregon type situation.
Yeah. Surprised to see Wisconsin storm the field.
Yeah. They needed something to be happy about.
I don't blame them. I really don't. That is a miserable time up there in Camp Randall. It's a ranked win too. So you beat a ranked opponent,
I understand it.
Yeah. We stormed the field after becoming bowl eligible versus Wisconsin. Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah, I'm not in the position to judge. We've been in some really tough moments in recent history. And then obviously we talked about it already, but real quickly, just the Mendoza moment. Penn State, really impressive, but you just got to tip your cap to Indiana. I felt like they had no business winning that game. And
is he the first quarterback taken off the board? Really?
I think so, right? Simpson, maybe, out of Bama?
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, Bama quarterbacks ain't really doing that too hot.
Diego Pavia out of Vanderbilt?
Absolutely not.
So then
I think it's definitely probably between those two.
Carson Beck, maybe. I mean, you could throw some different names out there, but
both those guys should get taken before Beck.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's going to come down to situation, because you put him in a situation with a good coach and everything like that, things will be fine. Like people's like, oh, he's going to the Jets, and I'm just like, if I'm the Jets, I'm on the phone with Brian Daboll's agent. Fast.
We're going to talk about that.
Fast.
I think. I was surprised on Twitter. A lot of people thought that was a good move.
I don't like the fire. I hate it.
Give me a coach who's going to win with that roster.
You're saying, oh, you blew it. First off, the offense has put up the points to win. You got 4 first rounders or top picks on your defensive line, and your defense can't come through, and you decide to fire your head coach. Given, I think he could have handled Jackson Dart a little bit better. It's like, hey, protect your guy, ease up on the QB runs and everything like that. I know he's probably your biggest offensive weapon right now and everything like that. But you got to teach him, to get the hell down. We seen Hard Knocks this past year or last year with Caleb. They were working on sliding. It's like, bro, you're not in the SEC anymore.
Yeah, get down.
Literally, like, so I don't like that fire. I think you give him another year and see how things are. He hit on his picks, things are rolling or whatnot. You just needed to to tighten some things up. But I don't think it's necessarily on the offense that they blew the leagues that they did. Your defense has to step up. You got 4 guys that are first round type of dudes. I don't know if Burns was first rounder or not coming out, but he's a top pass rusher. Dexter Lawrence was a first round. Abdul Carter was a first round. Thibodeau is a first rounder. You got 3 first rounder guys on your front line, and you lost the game because your defense necessarily couldn't step up when you needed him to. And he lost his job because of the defense, not because of offense. I think that's bad.
Yeah, well, even on those last few plays there, like it was it was the Bears-Giants game, and that was the last game he coached for the Giants. But people were upset because it was 4th and goal, and they decided to kick the field goal. But to your point, it's 20-10 with that field goal. You make it a 2-score game, and with how good that defense was playing, and how bad the Caleb Williams offense was looking, I didn't hate that call for the Giants.
No, he plays. I think that was the right call.
Yeah. And then to your point, the defense was the one that they had Caleb Williams in the backfield multiple times, and they just couldn't get him. It's crazy.
Now, if you had Cam Scatterboo still back there, I guarantee you they're punching it in. But you don't. So I just don't. I don't like it. I think once Dart got in there, they had things going the right way. Dayball was definitely calling stuff. It was you can only imagine what stuff is going to be when everybody was back healthy. And I think he deserved a little bit more time. Is he right in all the things that he might have done? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't think you pull that right then and there.
No, someone's going to be happy to have him. I think.
Like I said, if I'm the Jets, I'm on the phone. Hey, you don't even got to move. You know, we will fire our OC right now. Get Justin Fields Dayball. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That would be a match made in heaven.
The Jets just seem to be a really bad partner. So maybe he has enough. He's kind of in that Vrabel tree with me, where he might have enough of that no nonsense type of culture, to where I think that's what the Jets need. So maybe, but the Jets are. We'll see. I mean, no one's ever able to get it.
I know he's had a wild week and everything like that, but as far as moving, the defense looks fine. You have a former head coach that's calling your defense right along with you. You bring in Daboll, he develops quarterbacks, he gets them to where they need to be, which I think that would be good for Justin. But you also have a few first-round picks to where you can beef up some stuff and everything like that. So when Vrabel got to New England, you know, their defense was pretty much solid. You went and spent some money elsewhere and got some stuff on your defensive line and brought in some weapons and everything like that. I think, you know, give him some time. Like I said, I know it's probably not the best thing that you let, you know, two key role players go, but with him and identifying and what he can bring to the table with stuff, you know, I'm gonna give him a little bit of leeway to trust and go out there and find, you know, if not, you know, that type of level, something close.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think he's going to find a spot. And if it's with the Jets, with what's out there right now, that's their best shot, I would think. But we'll wait and see as that carousel opens up in the NFL, along with college football. Don't go anywhere. We got through it. We'll do a quick break here. Then we'll jump back for the last and final segment right here. Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Yards.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Day. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Good morning, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Short break, like I said. Don't go anywhere, though. We got plenty left here on Tick Weeknights. We're here all the way till midnight, so at the very least, another 3 hours to get you there until we set you up for overnight, and then, of course, early break, 6 a.m. Good morning, Pierson-El, though. I did find the proof. I can validate myself. Actually, turn my volume, just so I don't have people questioning me. Boom. Didn't take Missouri. So I can save
I told you that. I said I'm pretty sure we both picked A&M.
I was so down and out about how bad I was doing. I just assumed I lost another one. So you still win the week, but I'm not as terrible as I thought I did over the weekend. But I also took Texas A&M. All right, I just had to clear that up because I wasn't sure. I was really doubting myself there.
No, I was like, I want to say it was all but maybe 2 or 3 picks that we didn't pick the same.
Yep. When I was just a little bit, I doubted myself. First thing came.
That's fine. I'll take if you was wrong, but like I said, I'm not mad about it.
Well, we'll get some more picks later this week on Thursday, as we always do. But quickly, let's talk about it. Since we talked about a little bit of NFL, let's finish on some NFL. What the hell's going on with the Bills? A-Chain destroyed those guys.
I think it's we seen this last year with Philly, where Philly went through a short amount of thing. I think it's a division opponent. They know you kind of they're going through just like a bad spell. I think they'll snap out of it. They'll be back into things and whatnot. They got I think 6 more games left. I think they're in week 10, I think.
You got 8 games left.
8. So I mean, it's hard to sustain dominance for 17, 18 weeks. At some point in time, you might have, 4, 2-3 weeks bad here to where people just get the best of you. I think they're just kind of hitting a spell.
It's just been bizarre, though, because you go lose to the Patriots, but now we realize
which honestly, I think might be a front runner for the AFC Championship.
I don't disagree. But that loss was like, oh boy. But then you realize, okay, Patriots are good, though.
Really good.
And then you lose to the Falcons. That's not a divisional opponent. Then you beat the Panthers. Then you beat the Chiefs. And it's like, okay, we're right back on track. And then they lose to the Dolphins 30-13. So they're kind of just on this wave where I don't really know where they fall in all of this. Is it coaching at all? Do you criticize that at all? Like, where do you see the chinks in this Bills team?
I think it's just execution and everything like that. Your guys have to execute on the outside a little bit more. Everybody. Josh is a gunslinger. You don't necessarily have those deep threats with Gabe Davis and Stephon anymore. Your tight end is having a pretty good year, but people are keyed in on stuff, and Josh can't take as many hits as he should and everything like that. And people are stacking the box against Cook. So, their defense is rallying. They got, I think, their first round draft pick just, played their second game, with some stuff and everything like that. So they've had to replace a lot of pieces on the defensive side. And like I said, I just think it's just a long season. It's just kind of, you kind of slip a little bit. I don't think it's anything dramatic.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, what are they sitting at? Let me double check where they're at. It's not.
They're still second in their division.
Yep, 6-3, and the Dolphins and Jets aren't going to be catching
up. And
that's
just because you got New England that's going to probably win your division.
Yeah, I do agree with you there.
Which they'll be, 5, 6, or 7. They'll be one of those teams in the hunt.
Man, it's just been an unreal year.
Watch out for Baltimore. Their next 3 games are cakewalks. They could be right at 7-5 in a blink of an eye.
I think you're right. I think it's like Jets Browns.
Next two games maybe.
I think it's 3. No, I think you're right.
They got the Jets. I think the Dolphins. I know it's 2 terrible teams.
No, it's Browns, Jets, Bengals.
The Bengals. By the time they get to the Bengals, they could be 7-5.
Yeah, I think so. And then it's Steelers, and then it's Bengals again. So they got a beautiful little window.
Yeah, with the Steelers losing that game last night, that was in the AFC. That helps them out. I think that they moved 1 game behind Pittsburgh. So if they beat the Browns, you're depending on how the Steelers handle and everything like that. I mean, you could be tied for your division. So you still got everything that you want in front of you.
Yeah, things are sitting pretty for the Baltimore Ravens, especially when you look at what they have left on the schedule. That big win with Tyler Huntley, the backup, versus the Chicago Bears, set off the streak. And now they're in a really good position to continue the streak and get right back into it. With that being said, though, good morning, Pierson-El. That is going to go ahead and wrap it up for us. Don't go anywhere. We got Chris Raff coming up next. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate the time. As always, we will talk again tomorrow.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing